Yeah. Mine does an issue.
The world, designed to live in nature.
I'm in.
Finalizing
It's
the
doing a
sale,
lot
and
of
congratulations, sir. You're now the proud owner of the Backyard Grill.
Thanks, hold on. What's happening to me?
Don't worry, sir. You just achieved your final dad form, that's all. Happens all the time around these parts. I'm accustomed to it.
Good to meet you. I'm accustomed to it. My name's Dad Pat.
Oh my god.
Goes with dad jokes. Nice.
That's very funny.
It comes with dad jokes. I think he already came. Who knows? Boom!
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, where we're grilling up hot takes sprinkled with a healthy dash of reasoning. Loyal theorists, as many of you know, I'm a relatively new dad.
Oh, he's a dad?
This
Yeah,
year I've
his
taken
sounds like
major steps towards
a
achieving my final
His
dad
sounds like
form. I picked up some
4
sunglasses
free.
with transition lenses. I started backing my car into every parking spot I encounter. And as for dad jokes, well, I've been practicing those for years. But there's one item left on Matt Dad's summer to-do list, and it's to purchase the ultimate dad status symbol, a backyard grill. And if
We have
people
one.
taught me anything, it's that picking a grill means picking a team. You're either team charcoal or team propane.
You brought charcoal into our house. There's soot under my boy's nails. You don't get that from a clean burning fuel.
You don't get the rich smoky flavor either.
Shut your mouth.
Captain America versus Iron Man. Edward versus Jacob. Charcoal
Who's
versus
Edward or
propane.
Jacob?
It's from a popular book series called Twilight, which was very popular when I was growing up.
I had never heard of that thing ever.
Yeah, well, that's because it was before your time, Dad.
Weber introduced the barbecue lid in 1952,
Me too.
which allowed outdoor grillers to cook their meat evenly on a portable grill. A decade later, the Arkansas Louisiana Gas Company was looking for a way to increase their sales, so they came up with the propane-fueled version of that same grill. And that was really surprising to me because I was under the impression that charcoal grills were way, way, way older than gas grills, and that Team Charcoal had oodles of tradition on its side. But in fact, charcoal grilling and gas grilling, as we understand them today, are more or less the same age. Yet somehow, after 6 decades of jostling for dominance, neither type of grill has managed to corner the market. Today, 64% of U.S. households have a gas grill. 44% of households have a charcoal grill. It's about as pretty close to 50-50 as you come, which means that the debate continues.
I would rather just have a gas grill.
Well, that's just because you have a gas grill.
I'm just too lazy to work. It's that hard.
Give me a nice taste of wood. I cook with propane. Gives meat a nice taste of meat.
So the question I'm facing is I'm legitimately in the grill market right now. Do I want to be a charcoal grill type of dad, or do I want to be a gas grill type of dad? Well, the simple truth about me is that I'm a man who values science, reason, and objective truth above all else. So if I choose to go with the charcoal grill, it's not going to be because I want to be in with Team Charcoal dads in my neighborhood. It'll be because my own independent research led me to the conclusion that charcoal grills deliver a verifiably superior product. If I go with gas grill, it won't be because some stranger on the internet swears by it. It'll be because the numbers swear by it. So today, loyal theorists, I'm going to determine once and for all which type of grill is objectively the best. Hike up those socks, strap on those sandals, and let's get cooking theorist style. Because 2020 is Matt Dad's hot grillin' summer. And a quick note before we get too far. You may notice me using the terms propane and gas interchangeably this episode. When grillers talk about gas grills, they're typically referring to propane because it's used by about 80% of gas grills in the US, which is great news for me because now I have an excuse to insert plenty of King of the Hill references into this episode.
I was not flirting. I didn't even mention that I worked in propane.
One last housekeeping item. Grills can be used to cook a wide variety of things, from corn to barbecue to whole chickens, but in this episode I'm going to focus on thin-cut items like burgers and hot dogs, since, let's face it, those are the things that are getting grilled the most often. Okay, so today I'm going to be judging gas grills across 3 key categories. First up, cost. I want to know which grill is going to get burgers into my stomach for the least amount of money. Second, ease of use. I want to know which grill is going to get burgers into my stomach fastest and with the least amount of hassle. And finally, the taste category. I want to know which grill is going to get burgers into my stomach that are the absolute tastiest. So first up, we have cost. Of course, there are some very nice, very expensive grills out there. A griller could drop thousands on either a charcoal or gas grill if they cared to. In fact, there's even a grill that gives gives you both options, but I'm more interested in what it takes for a new dad like me to simply get his foot into the grill game. So I shopped around and found that it'll take a bare minimum of $91 to get grilling with charcoal. $59 for this charcoal grill, $20 for the briquettes, and $12 for a charcoal chimney starter. As for a propane grill setup, the cost to get started looks to be about $139.
Just like what, I'm not sure, but it's
$119
just
for
part
the
of the
simple
thing.
2-burner gas grill.
It starts the
plus
fire, I
$20 for a
think.
pre-filled 15-pound propane tank. That means charcoal is the most cost-effective way to get through my first cookout, but what I'm more interested in is the cost of operating the grill over time. So I need to determine whether charcoal or propane is going to cost more per cookout. Kingsford claims that you can get about 10 uses from their $20 2-pack of charcoal, which means that charcoal costs roughly $2 per cookout. A 15-pound propane tank holds 3.53 gallons of propane. University currently charges $3.51 per gallon refilled tank. According to Santa Energy, an average griller can cook about 8 meals per tank. That means I should expect to use about $1.55 worth of propane each and every time I fire up that gas grill. So while a gas grill costs more up front, it might wind up costing less in the long run if I use it enough. But would I use it enough to make a difference? Because I have to cook 107 meals on my gas grill in order to break even. So let's think about this. There are basically 16 weekends in any given summer. If we include Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, and everything in between, that means I have to use my gas grill every summer weekend for 6.5 years. But I just don't think I'm going to get that level of use out of my grill. For one, most Americans grill fewer than 16 times per summer. For another, the average American throws their grill away get this, after only 3 years.
Why?
I wonder.
Never in my life
I
have I
don't know.
known anyone to get rid of a grill, but given that I'm buying the least expensive grill available, I'm willing to accept that 6.5 years might be pushing its limits. And that means that charcoal wins the cost category and takes itself the early lead. Next up is the ease of use category. To test this out, I enlisted the help of my neighbor who owns both a gas grill and a charcoal grill.
When
And
does
I'm
he
not going
look
to beat around
like
the bush
him
here, I'm
now?
just going to go out and say it. The gas grill runs away with this category. The gas grill got up to cooking temperature in just under 8 minutes. And when we were done, there was essentially no cleanup to speak of. Contrast that with charcoal grill, which felt like stepping back in time. It took almost 20 minutes for the briquettes to heat up, and after the cooking was over, the ash still had to be properly suffocated and disposed of. And this is mostly my own fault, but the charcoal and its ashes wound up getting all over my hands and clothing. And not to pile on, but the gas grill was also great because I could raise and lower the temperature of the grill with the turn of a knob. On the charcoal grill, we had to spray the charcoal briquettes with a water bottle to get the temperatures down. Getting the temperature right on the charcoal grill required a lot of intuition, so it's just harder for a newbie like myself to get the patties done exactly how I like them.
Yep, these are medium rare.
What if somebody walks down well done?
We ask them politely yet firmly to leave.
So as
Yet
we head
firmly
into the
to leave.
final and probably most important category, the 2 grills are tied 1 apiece. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping that one of the grills would sweep the first 2 categories so I could just call this thing now. Because the taste category is by far the most difficult to judge objectively. There are a zillion articles and interviews and books and blog posts about this very topic. They claim that charcoal gives grilled food a smoky flavor. Others say propane gives food a bacon-like flavor. Still others claim that there's no taste difference at all because it's not the fuel source that's adding flavor to the grilled meat, it's actually the meat drippings which fall down into the heat source, burst into smoke and flame, and then rise back up into the
Rise up to the rise up to
Living on your knees, you rise up. Yep.
It's for this reason that wood chips are sometimes used on gas grills. It's a way to get a wood-like taste out of your gas grill. So there are just a lot of stances on this topic, and it seems that at the end of the day, taste is, well, a matter of taste, I suppose. But I've come this far and I'm not turning back. I'm committed to determine which grill's taste is preferred by the most people, and I'm committed to doing it in a scientific way. So what does that mean exactly? Well, for one thing, it means tuning out all the charcoal versus gas opinions and anecdotes flying around the internet. It means ignoring potentially biased blog posts made by propane or charcoal companies who have vested interest in guiding the public discourse. It means overlooking sources that describe the results of a taste test without offering any insight into their methodology, provide no direct quotes from the paper, and have no links to the actual study. While researching this episode, for instance, I found numerous articles and websites that referenced a supposed blind taste test carried out by the Good Housekeeping Institute 1988. Apparently, this taste test compared charcoal grilled foods to gas grilled foods, meaning it would have been perfect for this episode, but the thing is, I cannot find this thing anywhere. There are a whole bunch of websites referring to its supposed existence, even summarizing the results, but for the life of me, I cannot find the actual article or paper put out by Good Housekeeping. After hours and hours of scouring the internet and library in vain, well, let's just say I'm not in the right place.
That's a clean burning hell, I'll tell you what.
And I get cut up.
And it's not just this one individual study either. There are plenty of charcoal versus gas blind taste tests out there, but a lot of them choose to compare slow-cooked barbecue samples as opposed to grilled foods, which cook much faster and therefore don't have time to retain as much flavor from the smoke. For my purposes today, barbecue taste tests aren't going to cut it. I'm interested in the most common thin-cut cookout items, like hot dogs and burgers. Furthermore, many of the taste tests I found online had only 1 or 2 test subjects. In order to accurately determine which grill most people prefer, I want to get more data points than that. So the perfect charcoal versus gas grill taste test may not exist, but you know what? It's fine. I'm trying to answer a very specific question, which means I need a very specific experiment. And as any dad can tell you, if you need the job done right, sometimes you just have to do it yourself. So that's exactly what Team Fierce did. We carried out our own experiment. My neighbor and I cooked up some ground beef patties, veggie patties, and also hot dogs on both types of grill. We cut them up in bite-sized portions and gave a charcoal grilled sample as well as a propane grilled sample counterpart to various volunteers. The taste test volunteers were made aware that one sample was from a charcoal grill and that the other was from a gas grill, but they weren't told which of the 2 samples was which. Then, in order to obtain as many taste tests as possible, we froze half the samples and reheated them a day or 2 later. Reheated charcoal samples were always tested against reheated propane samples. In the end, 45 taste tests were conducted hot off the grill, and another 45 were conducted in the days following. For a grand total of 90 separate data points. The taste testers were asked to state which sample they preferred, as well as describe what they were tasting and offer a guess as to which grill they believed the sample was cooked on. So on one hand, the experiment was surprisingly difficult to carry out. It wasn't easy getting that many taste testers on board, especially on a budget. Definitely walked away with a newfound appreciation for researchers and what they do. But I will say, it was also really fun as far as scientific experiments go. I mean, the weather was fantastic, the whole patio smelled incredible from grilling, plus Sophie and I got to carry out a fun little mini taste test of our own before the craziness got underway. So after an entire afternoon full of grilling, we are ready to present our feast to the masses in a very safe, social way. We're not pulling a YouTuber party.
I went
doing science.
for a cat.
Some of this some crazy, some of this.
I don't know.
We're doing this in as responsible way as possible, but first, Steph and I are going to do a little small-scale taste test.
If you have a food channel but you never actually try any of the food, what's the point?
What are you
There's
doing?
no point. So
This is all a glorified excuse for us to just buy food and eat it, which is why our secret 4th channel is obviously going to be fitness theory, the aftermath of food theory. Okay, I'm going in blind here. Even though I cooked them, it's not like I can recommend them. So Steph and I tried all the samples and we recorded our results. Oh yeah. Okay. This one's jumping out to me more. This one's giving me a little bit of that smoky grill flavor. Getting a little bit more of the char on this one. Mm-hmm. Yup.
So you went pink, pink, pink.
I did.
Huh.
And this one, I think, it's giving me a flavor that I expect to be charcoal. So I'm going to say propane, charcoal, charcoal.
You're correct.
Yes, really? To me, the biggest flavor difference actually came in the form of a veggie burger, right? Where all of a sudden you could tell, like, oh, this one seems to have more flavor than this one. So I just assumed.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, buddy.
They got a cat.
Hey, do you want to do a flavor taste test? Yeah, so I'll admit that our mini taste test definitely got derailed by Cat and a bit.
Which one do you like?
Which do you like better? Do you like
Which one?
this one? Is it cool? But I know you didn't come here to watch cats eat burgers.
I
So
did.
No, I did.
Skip prefers propane burgers. But now I know what I'm really hungry for. You want the human results from the large-scale taste test. Over
Seriously,
40%
give us
of
that.
respondents preferred food grilled on charcoal, while just over 34% preferred propane. This means charcoal just won the taste category. It also means that charcoal has won the overall contest. Mad Dad's first grill will officially be charcoal, or will Because here's the thing, the overall results don't actually tell the whole story. Remember, we grilled 3 different items: beef patties, hot dogs, and veggie burgers. And what we found is that there's no one-size-fits-all grill solution. Different grills perform better for different items. When it came to beef patties, for instance, the taste testers were evenly split. And I do mean evenly split. Exactly 40% preferred charcoal and exactly 40% preferred propane. It didn't matter if the samples were fresh off the grill or reheated. Participants were split exactly down the middle on beef patties.
And then there's 20% in the middle.
For the charcoal beef patties was smoky, while the propane grilled patty was often described as having the traditional or normal taste of a backyard burger. 83% of respondents were able to correctly identify which burger patty came off of which grill, which does tell you that there is a perceptible flavor difference, and just that human taste is divided about what they like in the flavor of their grilled beef patty. But here's where things start to get really interesting. Respondents had an even easier time identifying the grill type when it came to the hot dogs. 93% of them correctly identified which sample was cooked on charcoal and which was cooked on gas. Furthermore, the respondents preferred gas grill cleaners by a 40% to 23% margin. Multiple participants reported that the gas grill cleaner had, quote, more taste. But to me, the veggie patties actually had the most interesting results.
Get it?
I don't understand. I think you're just like, you know,
That's actually one of the attacks that Peach has.
prefer the propane, which means that if you're grilling veggie patties,
I'd rather not have veggie patties at all.
Charcoal seems overwhelmingly to deliver a better taste experience. But even more interestingly, participants had a difficult time identifying the heat source for the veggie patties. Unlike with the 2 other meats where it was very clear what was and wasn't grilled on propane or charcoal, with veggie patties, the guesses were only right 50% of the time. Which is no better than a coin flip. And that's a really unexpected result, because remember, the vast majority of the respondents noticed a difference in taste. So the 2 grills did affect the taste, and I'd assume that this was because the charcoal briquettes gave off a wood-like smoky flavor. However, it doesn't explain why the gas-grilled samples were described as tasting smokier roughly half the time, nor would explain why the charcoal-grilled veggie patties were described as having a gassy flavor roughly half the time. So how do you explain this phenomenon? Well, my mind goes back to the meat drippings argument that we discussed earlier. The theory that suggested that it isn't the heat source itself that's affecting the taste, but rather the burned meat drippings. These results would seem to validate that theory, because the veggie burgers have no drippings to speak of. They didn't perspire the way that beef patties and beef hot dogs do on the grill. So in the absence of meat drippings, it seems like the veggie patties
Nori is better.
taste rules, so to speak, as the 2 other meat samples did. So ultimately, if I'm a dad of my word and going by the overall results, I have to get a charcoal grill. I promise I get the grill that won today's head-to-head matchup, and I intend to do just that. But the thing is, my family loves their hot dogs, and where hot dogs are concerned, the numbers suggest that a gas grill is the optimum way to go. So really, it boils down to what you're most likely to grill at these things. Are you grilling beef patties? Doesn't seem to matter. Are you grilling hot dogs? Gas is the way to go. And if you're a vegetarian who's grilling a lot of meat substitutes, well, then
I would rather just not
only option.
eat veggie patties at all.
This year, but if it all goes well, maybe next year I'll just splurge on some propane and propane accessories just to round out the collection. But hey,
That's just the series. A food series.
Do you enjoy food experiments like this one?
Okay, bye.
Because we have plenty more